it like going back to Dr. House, to doing the finale with him?
Oh, it was so wonderful to be invited to go back and do the finale of House. I couldn't have been happier. I was really hoping that I got to be a part of the end of that. It was such a special part of my life. And I really loved playing Cameron. I feel now as if that was a great friend that I miss that character, you know. It was fun just to go back and wear her little three-piece suits and see my wardrobe again and revisit that character and see everyone on set. And yeah, I was just really happy to be a part of the end of it. And I was really grateful that David Shore wrote the ending that he wrote for Cameron. I thought it was very appropriate for the way that she was meaningful in Dr. House's life. So I was very happy about all of that.
So I saw, in addition to all of your acting, you actually were instrumental in getting Glee off the ground. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I just connected the dots early on. Ian Brennan was a friend in high school. We grew up together. He'd always been such an extraordinary writer. Even in high school, he was writing incredible stuff. And when I was working on House, I produced this little film called Flourish with a couple other friends of mine. And I ended up pairing up with this friend, Mike Novick, who was helping me look for the next project that we were going to try to produce. I mean, we produced it for next to nothing. I mean, very, very, very small budget. And we read the film version of Glee that Ian had written, and we called him and said, we love this. This is amazing. Obviously, we're small time. It's not like we're going to be able to make a big movie here. But would you mind if we shopped it around and tried to see if there was some interest? And he said, absolutely not. I mean, it would be sitting in my closet otherwise. So we initially shopped it around as a film script, and it was actually in the final round for the Sundance Labs, so it was doing well in that process as well. And then Mike and I realized that Ryan Murphy had been in show choir, because a lot of the trouble that we were facing was that not everyone understood what show choir was, or they didn't understand the world of it, so they weren't seeing how fun and vibrant that kind of a story could be on screen. And we thought, well, if he was in show choir, he'll understand. So we got the script to him. And then from that point on, it was really Ryan and Ian's deal. I mean, I really just connected the dots to that point, and then they developed the show from that point on.
That's great. What's it like for you when you're not working? I know you're working all the time, it seems like, but the few moments when you're not working, what do you do?
First, I sleep. Sleep is very important. I don't know. You know, it's interesting. I've been really trying to make an effort to take more time for myself. This trip, being in Monaco and then continuing to travel afterwards, is a little bit of me trying to take some time for myself. It's hard because when you do a television show, it does consume 9 months of your life to do 22 episodes, which is really fun and wonderful, but that really only leaves a very small amount of time to try to find ways to do things for yourself, but also do other things creatively. So I get so excited and passionate about other things that I end up working in most of my time off, and, which is really fun, but doesn't always leave room to I guess, explore some of my more quiet moments. But I love going to the beach. I love watching old movies. I love reading. I do a lot of reading on set, actually. So I try to sort of supplement my day with that. I've just love seeing my family. I love seeing my friends. We shoot Once Upon a Time in Vancouver, so I make a real concerted effort to travel as much as possible on the weekends to be able to see my family and my friends. And my niece is 3 years old, and I love spending time with her. So it's kind of that everyday stuff that I really make an effort to try to participate in when I'm sucked away for so much time working on the show.
It seems like so many people are talking about this golden age of television that's going through, definitely in the States. How do you feel as more of a television actor? Is there still a stigma, the crossing over from TV to the big screen, or are those lines getting more blurred?
I don't experience it. I think that it's definitely changed. I feel like so many wonderful writers are writing for television, and the opportunity to develop characters over a longer period of time is a wonderful opportunity. I also think cable and Netflix and those kind of mediums are changing things as well, because only having to do 12 episodes a year is a much more reasonable commitment for certain actors than to do 22 episodes a year. But I've just felt incredibly lucky. I mean, I've worked on television for so many years, but in every break I've worked on films and I've been on stage. So I haven't experienced there being any kind of stigma about it. I feel like I've been able to kind of step back and forth between all the mediums and not really have a problem with it. So I don't know if that is a result of the golden age of television, like you said, which I am very grateful for if that's the case, or not. But I think it's a wonderful time to work on great writing on television, for sure.
So first of all, what so far for you has been the best part of being in Monaco?
Well, I just got to Monaco, so I haven't had much of a chance to have the best part of Monaco. But the views everywhere are so stunning and beautiful. Last night after dinner, we decided to just walk home because it's such a pretty city, and the cobblestone streets and the beautiful architecture. So the little bit of time I've been here, it feels like a fantasy. It feels like, I don't know, a city that doesn't even quite seem real. It's so pretty.
What do you think about the fact of having a festival that focuses exclusively on television?
You know what? It's really nice. I've obviously spent a lot of time working on television shows, and it's fun to celebrate something that I've gotten to be a part of so much. And I'm interested to see how it all plays out. I obviously haven't been to any of the events yet. I've had several friends who've attended the festival before, and they had a really wonderful experience. So I'm looking forward to getting to experience all that.
Tell us a bit more about your current show, playing Emma Swan. What's it like? What drew you to that character first?
When I read the script, it was so incredible. The script for Once Upon a Time was unlike anything I had ever read before. I was intrigued by how they mixed up all the fairy tales all together. I was intrigued by the way they invented their own fairy tale with Emma and Henry. And I also was drawn to how diverse the character was. Oftentimes on television, you're sort of asked to play the same character in the same way over and over again. And Emma, immediately on the page, had a huge range of emotions and a significant amount of depth to what was going on in her life. She'd had a really rough upbringing, but she didn't know she was a fairy tale character. There was so much opportunity and potential for her to grow into a new version of herself based on the information that was going to be revealed to her. And so I saw a lot of opportunity to continue to grow and change within that character, and that was exciting for me.
Did you have a favorite fairy tale growing up?
I always say that it's a tie. It was a pretty even tie between Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland. I think, you know, at the time, you don't know why. I probably was drawn to them because they were blonde princesses, you know. I guess Alice in Wonderland wasn't quite a princess. She was just a real girl. But looking back, I think, I don't know, I was kind of a quirky kid. I wasn't always misunderstood. I mean, I wasn't always understood. I was a little bit misunderstood. And so I think I related to the Cinderella element of feeling a little bit outcast and trying to figure out how to fit in. And so I think I definitely was subtly relating to that. And then with Alice in Wonderland, I did always want to go on great adventures. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. And I think that I definitely related to her sense of adventure and not knowing what was behind each door as she went on her journey down the rabbit hole. So I think looking back, that's probably why I had an attraction to those fairy tales.
You've done so many different series over the years. What's the most fan reaction you get? Which character's name do people call out? You
know, you never know. The people's reactions or people's awareness of different characters or shows, it sort of depends on the moment. It depends on what's rerunning at the time. It depends on what city I'm in. Every once in a while I'll be in a city where everyone goes, oh, you were Zoe on How I Met Your Mother, you know, and sometimes I'm in certain cities where it's always Dr. Cameron from House. Obviously, just because Once Upon a Time is new, that's something that people are very aware of right now. But I would say it's pretty evenly mixed. It's really interesting. It just depends on the day and the place. And I do really think it has to do with what's rerunning. I feel like that definitely significantly swings people's awareness of certain things.